Hey, this is Rick with Social Good Software. In this short demo, I'm going to be walking you through the process of creating a list for us to be able to sync over to either Constant Contact or MailChimp. This process is exactly the same regardless if you are doing this with Constant Contact or MailChimp. We're going to be following the exact same process. We're going to be creating a list of individuals, and then we're going to be doing a little bit of output fields for those individuals. And then lastly, we're going to be going ahead and creating a specific attribute for the constituents themselves. So we're going to start with the attribute portion here because we're going to need the attribute inside of our query. So we got to go and create that attribute. And then we're going to go through the process of creating the query itself. So to create the attribute, it's pretty simple. You just have to head over to administration. And then here, you're going to see an attributes category section. And this is going to open this. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and click on add. And this is going to prompt us to essentially add an attribute. So you have to give it an attribute of something. Right now, we're going to be syncing over an entire list of constituents. So we're just going to be calling this one our main mailing list. But this could be called anything for the particular segment you're working on. So for every segment you have to create a category for that specific segment. So right now we're just syncing over our entire list. But if you have a sub list under that list, then you need to go ahead and tag it differently. So let me go ahead and pull up my little marker, and I can kind of show you how this works. So here's our entire list. So I'm going to go ahead and just call this one main mailing list right here. So this is our main mailing list. And this one right here is going to go ahead and query all individuals who have an email address that have marked themselves as do not email or have not bounced any emails there. So we're just essentially, this is going to be our whole entire list. So this is going to grab us, I don't know, let's say 10,000 rows. 10,000 rows, okay? Now, if you do not want to email all these people and you have other segments within this list here, let's say, for example, you have a smaller segment here. Let's say you break it up into 3 different segments. I'll do it in a different color. So let's say you break it up into 3 different segments. So segment 1, segment 2, and segment 3. So let's say segment 1 is for members. Segment 2 is for donors, and then segment 3 is for visitors. So you can totally do this. As you can tell, the parent is still the main mailing list, so that hasn't gone away. But pretty much, if you wanted to create a members one here, then you would have to go and actually create a member one, and then that's where you put the attribute inside over here. So you would call it member only list, right? And then right here, donors, you could call it donor only list. And then visitors, you can call it visitors list. All right, so that's pretty much how those work. So pretty much you go here. This is going to be an individual. So you're going to go to constituent here for record type. And then for the data type, you're going to set it to yes or no. You want to make sure that only allow one per record is checked. And then finally at this point, you can go ahead and click on save, and that will go ahead and create it for you. But as you can tell, I have already created it here. Here's my main mailing list that I have. That's a yes or a no. And here's a sub list of this larger list, which is today's visitors. And then I also went ahead and created one called unsubscribed for me to be able to track people that have been unsubscribed. So these are all yeses or nos. It's all the exact same option. So please go ahead and create those there. So the main mailing list, unsubscribed, and then any sub categories that you want to have for different data bridges. Right now, I'm going to be just focusing on the main mailing list, but again, it's the exact same process for all the sub lists. All right, so we're going to head over to analysis here. We're going to click on information library. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and click on add an ad hoc query. We're going to go ahead and call this one a constituents query like this. And then here, we're going to go to type. So you'll see here's type right here. Bring that over. And we're going to say is equal to constituent, an individual like that. And then we want to make sure that this one is not deceased. So deceased is equal to no. Then we're going to need the email address. So we're going to go to email address. Here we go. And then we're going to grab the email address here. And then we want to go ahead and grab the primary email address like this. We're going to set that equal to yes. And then we want to remove any of them that have says do not mail. So do not email is equal to no. And then you want to go ahead and do bounced is equal to no, like that. All right, so now that we have those in there, we're going to go ahead and grab our output fields. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to get rid of name. We're going to do constituent, and then here we're going to go ahead and grab the first name. Here's the first name. We're going to go ahead and grab the last name. And we're also going to go ahead and grab the address. So we're going to grab the primary address. And then for this one, we're going to go ahead and grab line 1. We're going to grab line 2. And then we're also going to go ahead and grab the city. So city should be here. City. We're going to go ahead and grab the state as well. And then for the state, we're going to go ahead and grab that one. And then we're going to go ahead and grab the zip code as well. Zip code. And then we're also going to go ahead and grab, I think that's pretty much it for the address. So we have the first name and last name, address. We're going to also need the country. Here's the country. There we go. And now that we have the country, now we're able to go ahead and grab the few additional things that we need. So we're going to need an email address. So we're going to go to email address here. Email address, move this one up. And then we're going to go ahead and grab the date that this was last changed. So constituent. And we should have a date changed. Here it is, date changed. And we're going to grab this and put it all the way to the top. And then we're also going to need the particular constituent record. So constituent record. We'll leave that one at the bottom. And then finally, the last and final thing we'll need is the phone number. So we're going to go to phone. Here we go, phones, phone number. Bring that one in there. And then same as before, we're going to do a primary phone number is equal to yes, like that. Okay, so it looks like we have all the personal info. So we have, let's move this one up like this. First name, last name, email, phone, address. We have the constituent record. So the last thing we need is that attribute. So we're going to go attributes, main mailing list attribute, and we're going to go ahead and grab that value. And we're just going to put it right above address. I'm going to bring phone number down as well, like this. There we go. Doesn't matter which order you have them in. It's just nice to have them like this, because when we get asked questions, we're just going to select one after the other. All right, very good. So I think that's pretty much it for this one here. So we're going to go over into set save options. We're going to go ahead and give it a name. Main mailing list, and then do not remove. This is used. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and give it a category, and then you're going to go ahead and give it a folder. So in my example, I have Social Good Software folder here, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on Save and Close. And I was going to go ahead and create that query for us. And there we go. The query is officially created. Now we're ready to go ahead and use this OData link with our data bridge. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. That's pretty much all there is to creating these queries. You have to make sure you include all that information that I've recommended. If you do not include all that information will not get synced. Either way, so syncing to the mail provider or syncing back from the mail provider, if you do not include it in your query, it will not get synced. Lastly, if you have other segments you want to create, pretty much you repeat this exact same process again, but this time you include the specific segment you were wanting to work with. So if you go back to edit definition here, you pretty much go here, and then you're going to go ahead and find a particular one. So in my case, it's this one here, main mailing list attribute value. So then you're going to want to go ahead and change that to be the one you specifically are working with. So attributes, you can see here I have today's visitors, so I can include that here by double clicking, selecting the value, and including that there. So now this is a sub list of the other list, and then obviously you want to include the logic for it up here as well. And that's going to go ahead and do it here for me. Once again, this is Rick from Social Good Software. Hopefully you found this video helpful. We're always looking to improve and make things better. If something was not clearly explained in this video, or maybe you just are still a little bit confused and have some additional questions that we didn't talk about in the video, don't worry, we're here to help. Please go over to socialgoodsoftware.com/feedback. You're able to provide us feedback on this training. You're able to provide us feedback on the software. We're always looking to improve. So if you have any suggestions, please reach out to us. Again, socialgoodsoftware.com/feedback. You'll be able to go ahead and share your thoughts with us, and we're always happy to help.